A very good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all of you. Thank you very much for your time and for joining. I can see that we have people joining us from Africa, US, across the Europe. So yes, thank you very much for taking the time out. I'm so happy to be part of this session because I know it's a very much hot topic in the industry that we are in. My name is Vincent. I'll be the moderator during the session, whereas I'm joining here along with my colleague Davidus, who is the product manager at Ruptela, and one of our most valued and privileged partner, Rizwan, the CEO from Cargotrack in Hungary. We are just 8 working days away from Christmas, so it's a pretty exciting time for here. And I'm reporting from Lithuania, where we have a snowstorm right now. But yes, we will try to be very casual, very easygoing, so that we don't spoil our festivity moods. We have got some super exciting topics, as I mentioned earlier. Just to quickly give you a brief on, which is one of the hot topics that is going on, 2G sunset, and what it means for the transport industry, or 4G devices, how different technologies expand your business. Also, how Ruptela and Cargotrack partnership and what it leads us to a successful collaboration. But yes, of course, I'll keep it quiet. We will go with the flow and see where it leads us to. Just to let you know as well, we have a whole team here monitoring. So please feel free to drop any questions, any messages that you would like to, and we will try to answer those during the session or just after that, depending on how the time is. But first of all, I would like to take the opportunity and kickstart the session and wanted to give you a quick overview of Ruptela, what we are. So we have been in the market for approximately 15 years now and have a team based across the globe, but mainly the offices are based in Mexico, Far East Asia, Middle East, and of course our headquarters are based in the Europe, Lithuania. With manufacturing unit as well. So everything is followed by the European standards, giving you the assurance of the rules and regulation as well as the quality. Also, personally, I love working over here because the core business value, which is the innovation, which means that, but not limiting us to certain products or certain devices, but of course offering and working together with our partners to make them successful and eventually us. Secondly is care, by offering undisputed care and friendship to our partners as well from day one, any kind of support that is required. And lastly, which is very competitive, and courage, which gives us to be more competitive in this disrupting market that we live in. Due to sheer care and attention to details, we are very lucky to have a success rate of our devices for around 99.9%, which is incredible. That means that we have partners using our devices for more than 14 years, and they are still on the go, which causes, of course, the lower failure rate. Secondly, comparing to last year, we have produced over 330,000 devices and roughly around 1,800,000, which are currently installed and working with our partners. But without further ado, I would love to share further information, and I would like to pass on the fort to my colleague, partner, Rizwan. Over to you, Rizwan.
Thank you, Vincent. Thank you for the invitation. Hello, everybody. My name is Rizwan Pertikash. I'm the CEO of Cargotrack. The company was founded 10 years ago in 2012, and since then we developed different solutions mainly for transport companies, as GPS tracking, automated tool payment, and legal and financial solutions. With the help of Ruptela as a hardware and software provider, we become to be, as by revenue, in top 5 companies in Romania providing telematic solutions. And I confirm what Vincent said regarding the 99.9 quality SLA as hardware, as the first device installed from Ruptela is still working. But we will need to change it because of the 2G sunset. But it's very important that it's still working for 10 years now and working fine. So our main goal in Cargo Track is to optimize fleet management with GPS tracking and to develop personalized solutions for our clients. We are doing this with a team of 45 colleagues dedicated in providing high quality services. We are focused mainly on Romanian, Moldavian, and newly Egyptian market, but we have clients all over Europe. So roughly, this is something about us. But if you want to find out more, you can follow us on LinkedIn. Meanwhile, during the presentation, I encourage you to write questions and or provide feedback in the chat. That, as Vincent said, we reply in the end of the webinar. Thank you.
So moving on to the first topic, which is quite interesting, the new technological mishaps. So this question is essentially for my colleague, Davidas. What it means, the sunset of 2G to the transport industry, according to you, David?
Yes. Hello, everyone. So yeah, what it means, of course, it means a lot because 2G sunset is coming, and you can never hide from it. I have basically maybe in my mind 3 dates for it when it will affect industry more and more. So it's 3 dates: 2023, where already part of, let's say, most of the Europe operators are planning to start shutting down the 2G network. Then 2025. By 2025 is most part of the world actually planning to shut down already 2G. And by 2028, already most of the 2G network just will be dead. So of course it will impact the industry a lot because most of the devices now still 2 and 3G. They're working in the transport industry in this old generation network. So of course, all those devices will need to be changed to 4G. So of course, it will affect a lot the industry.
Most importantly, David, I would love to know, how this effect will gonna change the GPS fleet tracking systems.
Yeah. So as I mentioned, it will change, but if the clients will be ready and will follow up all the trends and news from Ruptela side as well. So if you'll be ready, actually you will not feel that much difference except of the changing of the device. So now we have this slide, maybe just a brief introduction and comparison of networks and what are usually used for the tracking. So of course 2G, 3G, so you know this is old generation network. And now it's also coming 5G, but 5G is in very, very early stage yet. So that is why 2G will be shut down anyway, because there will be needed some free bandwidth for the 5G, which is just starting to go up. So the more 5G will come up, the less 2G will be available. Yeah, but more or less from 4G now is the actually 2 most popular versions of the network. Usually our clients and all the devices manufacturing are using either Cat M1 with narrowband IoT connection or Cat 1 connection. So basically the main differences from it that Cat M1 is a low power 4G network used for various IoT applications, so Internet of Things applications, so trackers, let's say some counters and so on. Narrowband specifically is used for optimized for non-moving IoT objects because it has low bandwidth. And of course, the Cat 1 is a high power 4G network with very, very good network coverage, basically similar to our phones. If you have 4G on your phone, you will have it also on our device. Meanwhile, Cat M1, if we compare, it's still also running up. It's actually the most popular, of course, in USA. But in Europe also, it's getting higher and higher, just running faster and faster. So it also come into the range of the networks. Yes, so maybe these are the main differences and things that I wanted to mention.
Okay, no, that's amazing. But yes, I have another interesting question, which is essentially highlights to Razvan, because we are on the other side, but understanding his perspective of how it can affect your business to have the 2G moving from having 2G devices moving to the another 4G?
Yeah, it depends the approach you have here, because from Cargotec's point of view, we are preparing for this for a few years now, and as we are a client-oriented company, we decided a long time ago not to purchase the 2G devices and go for the 4G devices, cover from our margin this difference in price, and we basically prepared our clients for the move. So currently, Cargotrack has less than 500 devices that are still in 2G. So directly regarding this point of view, I don't think it would be a problem. On the other side, regarding the MNOs, mobile network operators, I think we will face some problems that are not so obvious, because when we are building a new network, some problems will appear. Already started to appear, because different countries in Europe started to stop the 2G, and we see some problems in connectivity. But we are monitoring very careful what's happening. And what we did is to build us a notification system in which we can see every downtime of each of the devices. We're manually analyzing everything that's possible to analyze regarding the connectivity of the device. And here we have a good opportunity, because we can take logs over the air from the devices, and it helps us a lot in finding the real problem. Discussing with Rotella specialists and our MNO, our internet service provider, and finding the best solution. A few weeks ago, we ended a very important reconfiguration of our devices, more than 10,000 devices, because we found a problem in a network, and we managed to speed up the process, and the client didn't felt any problem with the GPS tracking devices. But indeed, I'm expecting to have problems like this in connection between devices, between MNOs, because 2G network and 3G network was a stable one that worked for several years, and now we are coming with new type of connections, and there will be problems. The only thing that we can do is to react very quickly to the changes on the network side, and to monitor very carefully everything that's happening. I think that's the only thing that we can do as service providers.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So my actually another question, the last one, because I'm really curious about this topic. So this is for David. David, what do you think about the future of IoT connectivity now, moving into the market, especially in our industry?
Yeah. So as I mentioned, from this IoT side, already it's already still starting a bit in early stage in USA and other regions. It's already in quite high runner stage, we can say. But still in Europe, it's quite early, especially IoT connectivity. Mostly it has coverage in main cities, but not global, like if we compare to, for example, Cat1 connectivity. So yeah, I think it's still in early stage, but it's going high and basically rocketing high, and I'm sure that it will be very popular within next few years.
Thank you for that, for both of you, for sharing this knowledge. So I think maybe we can move on to our next slide, which is just elaborating more about our devices that we have got in our stock and our future plans as well. Then definitely we can move on to more interesting things ahead.
Yeah.
Over to you, David.
Yeah, so just briefly, I want to introduce already some 4G devices that we as Ruptela have to offer. We are moving not straight from 2G to 4G, and that's it. So we're having some devices now that are in the middle. What it means that they works on both 2G and 4G network. Devices are switching automatically. If there is 2G network, they're working on 2G. If there is 4G, they're working on 4G. Yeah, so basically a few of our high runner devices that you can use for your everyday cases, just starting from simple ones to most advanced ones. So I'll start just from our Trace 5 device, which you can see here on the right. This is our Eco family device. As I mentioned, 4 and 2G network is available. It used more for basic application, basic use cases, because it has 2 digital outputs, 4 digital inputs, 2 analog inputs, 1 wire interface. So more or less for those everyday applications like track and trace, driver registration, fuel monitoring, trailers tracking, because we have a version of this Trace 5 device with big battery that can last for more than 1 month. Just device can last on the battery itself. So it's very good for trailer tracking. Yeah, service-free fleets, just of course, Green Fleet or our EcoDrive solution is very popular with this device that we're using. So just also driver behavior monitoring. As well, this device, the LTE version, so these Cat 1 versions, they are coming up with Bluetooth connections. So it saves also money for the businesses because you can use wireless accessories, so you can do the installations much faster with this device if we compare to some old generation devices that we had before. Yeah, so basically this Trace 5 is for just more of a simple use cases. Also, what I mentioned, it has IP67 protection as well, the housing version. So if you're installing it somewhere in harsh conditions, maybe outside of the trailer, outside of the truck, maybe an engine compartment, so this IP67 version is will suit you very well. Moving further, we have already 2 devices from our advanced family. So one of them is LCV5 Lite device. This device is advanced family device, which has more inputs, more outputs. It has advanced interfaces, like of course CAN bus reading, which is one of the most important things in light commercial vehicles business. Also serial interfaces and so on, just to connect some more advanced accessories and use some more advanced solutions. What is new with this LCV5 Lite that we actually launched recently? We remade all the vehicle platform, vehicle tracking, not tracking, but documentation platform. It's now very easy to use. You can just get the device, find your vehicle model and make on the platform, and you'll see all the installation instructions there, where to connect, how to do it, and so on, how to configure the device. It's very easy to use if you're using our splitter harness connection. We have a unified splitter harness which fits any vehicle model that you have. So it means that you can use only one harness for any vehicle, no matter is it, let's say, I don't know, Chevrolet from USA or just some local VAG vehicles like Volkswagen or Audi. You can use one harness and to connect any vehicle to it, and device will find the correct connections from the OBD socket itself. It will configure itself, and basically just simple installations, like 5 minutes. I tried it, of course, myself on my vehicle personally. It took me like about 5 minutes to install the device physically, and that's it. Device configures itself automatically and reading all the needed OBD and light LCV CAN bus data. So a lot of parameters there. As I mentioned, in this new documentation platform, you can see what parameters you can read from what vehicles and so on. So very detailed solution that we have. Also, we have installation wizard, which also is a step-by-step detailed instruction with pictures, how to connect device, how to configure it, how to connect this harness if you're using, and so on. Yeah, so this LCV Lite is used for more or less light commercial vehicle business here. And of course, the most advanced device is HCV5 Lite. So it has similar features as LCV5, but in addition, it can, of course, read heavy commercial vehicle CAN bus data. So all the parameters like fuel level, mileage, fuel consumption, all the other parameters that you need, it's reading out. And of course, one of the most popular solution that it's mandatory for most of the logistics company in EU is, of course, the tachograph data reading. So this device is also fully capable to remotely download the tachograph files, and even by using software, you can forward them via email to already government institutions and so on. Yeah. So maybe more or less that's it about these devices. I will not get into too much details about them. I just want to mention one more that is coming soon. So this is our plug 5. At the moment, we have still fourth generation plug 4 device, which is 2G. And as I mentioned, we want to jump to 4G. So at first, we're releasing it to the US market. So this device will be new generation 4G device. We will have two versions, one with Cat 4 generation network, which will have Wi-Fi and Bluetooth. So we will be able to do a hotspot in the vehicle if needed. The manufacturing itself of the device is quite easy, I would say, and the installation is simple. The form factor is very small. You just plug and play. That's it. One of the main advantages also of this small form factor device is that he will be able also to read all the advanced OBD data from the light commercial vehicles. So this is also a very big jump from our previous plug 4 generation devices. Yeah, so more or less that's it from my side.
Thank you, David. By the time when you were explaining about the devices and everything, I had a question for actually Razvan. So Razvan, as you see, the market is transitioning now from 2G to 4G now. Are there any challenges that you're facing? How the market behavior is, how they are actually responding to this change?
It's a normal progress of the market. Indeed, it's a problem of if you are talking about competition, the end customer is not so well informed in 2G and 4G, and you will find out on the market that there are different offers from different companies that can then go with very small prices, but they are using 2G devices. Strange enough, they are using 2G devices in a country in which is planned to shut down 2G next year. Yes, that's a reaction to. We'll see the reaction on the market the next years when those devices won't work anymore. And the problem is end user is not informed enough. If you are going for the 4G devices, indeed they are more expensive. You need to cover somehow that margin if you don't want to increase the prices. And we are making big efforts to make our clients understand that now it's a migration period in which you need to be very careful of the devices that you are choosing. Indeed, in some countries, because it needs to be very well analyzed, in some countries there will be the 3G network will be shut down, as in Romania. So the 4G devices Ruptela has, which have fallback in 2G, or even if you go with 2G, will work perfectly. So you need to understand as a user of the device, if your device won't leave Romania, you are not expected to leave Romania, then you can go further with 2G devices. You need to be very careful of what you are using the device for, and be very well trained to understand these changes. Because these changes go naturally. It happens all the time. We will pass from 4G to 5G to another G, many. But it will happen in time. We need to understand that the approach, how we are doing this migration from a network to another, if we are very well informed, it will be easier for us. If not easier, hopefully cheaper. Because if you are making the wrong decision, definitely will be very costly.
More competitive. I agree with you. So actually now, as you mentioned about the G's going on over here, I would like to ask another question before moving on to another topic from David. So what do you think to any plans to bring 5G? Do you see in the near future, or do you see that, yes, networks will going to let people to settle in 4G and then after that move ahead, or they want to just do it all together? Any insights on that, David?
So regarding 5G, as I mentioned already, it's still in very, very early stage. So we as a Ruptela, we are thinking about it, but we are not yet planning to manufacture devices on 5G, unless, of course, some specific maybe client needs, maybe some specific project and so on. So we, of course, always are open to our clients, always discussing with them projects based projects and so on. So, but yeah, for now we're not planning it. I think it's too early because 5G is still on the early start. So let's wait for a few years, then we'll see. Then of course, in the future we will move to 5G, but I don't think that in near future. What do you think?
Vincent, if I can make a comment on this, I really don't think for track and trace or for what we are doing now, 4G is needed. Let's be honest. For 5G, I mean, is needed. 4G is more than enough for what we need. So yes, we discussed about other futures with I don't know, video telematics, AI, object detection, things like that. Of course, 5G will help. But for current situation, for what we are doing now, I really don't think 4G is more than enough. David, as I think you can confirm this.
I agree with you, actually, Razvan. 4G is enough powerful. But yeah, without further ado, I would like to move on to a topic that I think it's really important, considering that we have known each other as partners for such a long time. Our values, business values, matches so I would say equally. What it leads to, in terms of your understanding, what leads to a successful collaboration? Razvan. I think you're mute,
Now you hear me?
Razvan.
Yeah,
Sorry.
yeah. Sorry for that. So for sure, the one of the most important thing is trust. Trust each other as partners. Have somebody to rely on when you have a problem, because in every type of collaboration relation there will be problems. The way that you are facing these problems is very important. It's not always about the money. It's not always about the margin. It's about the way we have support when something comes up. We approach new markets. We went to Ruptela and said, okay, I'm approaching this market. You have more knowledge because you are working worldwide. Teach me how to do it. I have clients there. How can I help the clients? And we received all the necessary information. I think that's the most important thing. Of course, we need to have fair prices, because if we don't have fair prices, we are not competitive on the market. But I honestly can say that we have fair prices. We don't have the smallest, but we don't have the biggest prices. So at the end, it's all about the relation that you have with your partners and how you are fixing problems. In 10 years, believe me, we stayed many hours in the middle of the night with my team and David knows, we worked a few years directly.
Yeah, I heard a lot of stories.
In the days, in the night.
I heard a lot of
Sorry?
stories. But past.
Yeah. In some years ago, Rotella didn't have a too well notification system put in place, because they started some new developments, but they didn't need it because they had us. They had Cargo Track, which in 5 minutes of any incident, we were calling day or night. And this relation was built in years. And I think that lead us to a successful collaboration till now, and that's the key of success. To be honest with each other, and that's the most important thing.
I cannot agree more with you, because business is not only about selling and buying or better rates or anything. It's all about relationship. It's all about trust, as you mentioned, and I think so. This plays a core of any business terms, and transparency, of course, because without transparency, there is no way. There's no go back. So yes. Thank you very much for sharing this deep insights, and thank you for your valued partnership. It is really, really appreciated from our side. We are here for, of course, for you, but for anybody. And this is where one of the main values that really stands is in order to support, in order to help grow a business, because your success is our success eventually, and that what brings us all together. So yes, thank you for that. Then moving on to one of the also crucial topic about the tendencies that is going on in the telematics industry, and would love to start from you, Razvan, again, to know your point of view to what you take the current scenario and what you see as the future as well.
Regarding tendencies, I'm pretty sure that the most on short term we will discuss about integrations. Integrations of our systems with different kind of systems, with different kind of platforms. Even if you are talking about toll system, about TMS, about different kind of ARPs, because we gather some very important information that will help other softwares, other type of platforms to offer a full overview to the fleet owner in real time. That's the most important thing, and that will be on the short term. We started this a few years ago already, and there are more and more requests from our clients with different kind of APIs. In some cases, in other cases, we need to develop hardware or software. So we need to adapt to their needs. This will be the next step on short term, pass from simple track and trace to optimized solution. On a longer term, and here 5G will help us, of course, I see video telematics. In my opinion, that's the next step. We need to have the eyes on the road. And together with this video telematics, we can discuss about object detection. Even if you want to see how full is our trailer, how optimized is are the goods positioned into the trailer, what's the productivity, what we can improve. I mean, to put the eyes of the dispatcher on the road to have more information. Of course, we can go in the direction of AI for optimizing the routes. Because taking into consideration only traffic and some small information, it won't be enough. Currently, most of the software that I saw are based on some standard APIs that a few providers on the market are providing. But in the future, I really think that AI will have an important role in optimizing the fleets, and in the end, maximizing the profits. Of course, we need to see how things will go and how soon we will arrive to this level. But I'm pretty sure that in short term, I mean, in a few years, 2-3 years, we'll see very, very important developments in this area.
Great, thank you. And David, would you like to add up on these points that Rizwan shared?
Yeah. Thank you, Razvan, for such a detailed shares also. Yeah. What also I can see from my perspective, actually, at the moment, during past few years, and I believe that in upcoming years, we are still on the wave of transport telematics tracking and overall real-time transport visibility tracking. Because I remember myself, working, let's say, 4 or 5 years before in Ruptela, and friends were asking, "Hey, where are you working?" I was like, "Oh, we're Ruptela." Everyone were asking like, "Oh, it's logistics company." No. I said, "We're manufacturing devices, and it's not logistic company. We're actually manufacturing for them and so on." And of course, I have some friends who are working in logistics companies, in car rental companies, and that time they were like, "Oh, so these devices, yeah, I know, like some of our friends, they having installed them, they tracking fuel and everything, so like 4 years ago, it was still, for example, in Lithuania, it was still kind of new thing, I can tell. At the moment, like every truck, every vehicle, every rental company, car sharing solution, everybody are using real-time tracking, and it's just on the waves. And I believe during 2023, even maybe 2024, it will be, I guess, the highest peak of this popularity, because it's just getting everywhere on the wave. It just they put devices anywhere. Like we are now getting inquiries from the clients, like to put it on shopping carts in the shops and so on. So like people are trying to track everything and just save money. They're using the EcoDrive solution a lot. They're saving a lot of money there just by monitoring driver behavior and so on. So yeah, I think it will be much more popular in upcoming years. Yeah, so that's it from my side.
Perfect. Thank you very much for sharing this. I also have a question that I got is, what do you think about the African market? And I know that there's a 2G network going on, and then there'll be 4G. It's going to take some time. So 3G will work, or what do you think, David?
Yeah, regarding African market,
Yeah.
so I need to mute because I guess it's double sound. Yeah, sorry. So regarding African market, so yeah, they were stuck a long time in 2G basically. But now what can we see from tendencies and from trends that they're straightly jumping to 4G, and it looks like they'll skip 3G because in most parts there's still 2G working, but already 4G, Cat 1 and Cat M1, even in big cities in African countries, are getting deployed, and I think they'll jump straight to 4G, and within a few years also Africa will be popular on 4G solutions.
Okay. So it's basically adaptable altogether across globally. Okay, that's very good thing. So it's overall going to be a standard which is going to be moving ahead. So Razvan, I have a very interesting question that just popped into my head. What are the plans for Cargo Track in 2023? Where do you see Cargo Track? Where do you want, your vision basically?
As I said, we are doing a lot of integrations. We have a lot of special projects on which we are concentrating currently, in which we involve that some of the things that I said earlier as object detection and AI. We will use everything that we learned in telematics in order to develop some special solution for our clients. This is regarding what new projects we will approach as an extension of our services covering new markets. We started this year a new and a very interesting collaboration with Egypt, and we started to understand the market. We started to understand the needs there are there, and we will started to have clients there, and extend through also to different countries in Europe. That are the plans for 2023.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. So I think so. There's a lot of information flowing around with this conversation. Thank you very much for that. But for you, David, regarding the components crisis that we were going through, and it is still ongoing, how do you see that this transition can actually, how well prepared we need to be, and how we can simplify the transition? Just because it will be a huge wave, as I'm predicting as well. I'm thinking that it will be a huge wave. How the companies and us has to be prepared, and how we can satisfy that need.
Yeah. So regarding component crisis, more if you're asking Vincent. So yeah, as you know, we prepared it already. Our strategy basically almost 2 years ago when we analyzed market, we saw the first trends when that component crisis is coming up. It's harder and harder to get some simple electronic components. So of course we modified our devices. We put new components to it. We put components which our suppliers are guaranteeing for us to have good lead times, and they give us guarantees. We also trusting them, as you know, our clients trusting us. We also trusting our suppliers. This is one of the values of our companies, the trust. Yes, we prepared for it. We are ready now to deploy basically any amount of devices that you need. We actually, with especially with this new 4G family, we are not facing any issues with this component crisis, and we are ready. We are stacking also, of course, a little bit of our warehouses. We are waiting for these waves because still the waves will come up, more or less country by country. One country will shut down, another country will shut down, and so on. So yeah, we are ready for it, and I saw actually the question somewhere in the chat that what are the lead times? Are we ready if some clients will need those 4G devices? So yes, we are ready. Just go ahead, order it, and you will get it within 1 week or so.
Adding to this topic, Razvan, how do you see this scenario of components crisis from your eyes? Any
I really hope it
steps
will,
that you have taken to prepare
I,
yourself, or do you have any plans?
I really hope it will end soon. A few years ago, last year, I heard it will end somewhere in summer. After that summer, in the beginning of this next year.
Yeah.
We need to adapt to it. We adapted. And we in some cases we made bigger stocks just to cover the possibility to have no devices. To be honest, we didn't confronted any problem. Currently, you have the devices. We didn't have problems in which you couldn't
Thankfully, yeah.
deliver the devices. Maybe not always the quantity that we wanted, but we didn't confront with this. Regarding other peripherals that we are using, we switch in some cases between the providers, but we found the problem is the price on which we found this because it's not the problem that you cannot find components. You can find components, but not for €1, but for 100 euros, the same product. So it's not okay to say you cannot find. Okay, you can, but somebody is making a very big profit on this. If you can find solutions in some ways. To be honest, this is the only thing that the market will somehow find its way, and it will stabilize at a certain moment after all the games are played.
No, absolutely. And do you have any plans to expand your business to different market, considering that you have such a strong presence in the Europe itself and more other countries, capturing other countries in the Europe or across Europe?
In Europe, as I said in the beginning, you are already having clients in different kind of countries. So we are expanding, not necessarily directly, but through our clients there. We get more and more clients in different countries of Europe. We have teams that go all around Europe to make installations and provide quality for our clients. We had different kind of partnerships through Ruptela or through other partners in Europe, so we can cover installation all over Europe currently in a very very short time. So yes, regarding Europe, this is our approach. Regarding other parts of the world, we'll take it slowly because we want to understand those markets. We want to provide exactly the services that the clients need, because honestly, there are very different, and I am very sure Ruptela has more experience in this, but it's a different approach. The market needs are very different. And if you want to be client-oriented, to offer the best solution for the clients, you need to first very well understand the
100%.
market.
Yeah, I think so. It's a major challenge in the current market to have a native language speaker. We as well have similar sort of challenges that we face because that brings a different impression, different approach, and it helps to grow immensely. Definitely, it's a scarcity talent. You need to either base somewhere based in the country, or otherwise it's hard to manage. No, guaranteed.
It's a problem different time
Exactly.
zones. It's a problem of language. It's a problem of it's interesting. It's
Yeah,
interesting.
yeah. And to David, in relation to this same question, what point of view you got in terms of expansion and how we can relate it to the market situation?
Yeah, so regarding expansion, I have the same actually opinion as Razvan mentioned already, and yeah, it's the market is expanding. It goes all over the world already. It's global thing, you know. But still, some countries are a bit behind. Let's say the market. They're still in early stage, but more or less like Europe, USA, as just skyrocketing also. Latin America maybe a bit slower. It's like, you know, the African side or Asia with specific needs, but still more and more countries they will switch to 4G, 2G anyway will be shut down. I saw also one question in the chat from Germany was asking, do we have a maps or some lists of operators and so on of countries who will be shut down when? So yes, we have some information. We can share it with you, of course. So you can just write an email to our support or directly to me via email, and I'll let you know of those countries. But yeah, we have, as I mentioned, basically three main dates: 2023, 2025, and 2028 are the main dates here. Yeah, nothing maybe to add from my side regarding this.
Vincent, we can't hear you.
So yes, there's a lot happening in the market. Thank you very much for Razvan and David, as for taking the time, sharing the information. But last question, one of the last questions that popped into my head about COVID. So this will be for you, Razvan. How you have seen the changes in the market, let's say, for example, pro-COVID, during COVID, and post-COVID.
In our business, our solution helped during COVID times because you needed to know where your driver is, where your goods are. We had a lot of requests when COVID started, very urgent requests to install many devices on different kind on ambulances, on different kind of services, vital services. Even from government, we had some requests then. So before on the beginning of COVID, everybody somehow understood the need to know where their assets are. After everything started to end somehow, these companies or these institutions that install the devices understand now the need, and now they understand that they discover something, and now they understand that can do more things, optimizing the way their processes, and that was the positive thing. It was very difficult during COVID to make the installations. Indeed, we had a lot of challenges to make the installation in Romania, outside of Romania, all over Europe. It was difficult, but we managed to pass it. We understood and we learned a lot of things from this. We made a lot of procedures, internal procedures that helped us, improved our way of working, and this was the good thing from everything that happened. Because let's be optimistic. Let's see also the good parts from the tragic incident that was.
And now you see the business is picking up exponentially, huge demands.
Honestly, we weren't affected by in-sales by COVID, and we had increase 20, 30, 40% each year in the last 5 years. So we weren't influenced negatively by COVID.
Okay, Again, thank you very much. I must request with all our kind attendees, if they have any other questions, that they can pop into our chat. We are able to answer. Time has just flown by. It's almost 50 minutes. So this has been incredible. A lot of insights, a lot of information to process. And so if we do not have any more questions, let me just quickly check. I think so we can say hasta la vista and a Merry Christmas.
Yeah, we have a question. We have a question from Pierre for me, I think. Does CargoTrack use TrustTrack for
Yes,
its own
sorry about
platform?
that.
It uses TrustTrack. It uses TrustTrack, but we have also our own solution for the personalized developments that we are doing. So it depends on the approach, but yes, we are using TrustTrack. We know all the details
Inside out.
of TrustTrack. Yeah, exactly.
Okay, perfect. So yes, I think so it's a time then. If you do not have any more questions, I appreciate all of you again. Thank you very much for joining. It has been incredible. We are all open for any other questions that you might have. So please do let us know in case. If not, then I wish you a Merry Christmas and a prosperous New Year. And hopefully we'll be in contact, in touch, and be working together in the future. So yes, take care and have a great afternoon or evening or morning. Bye-bye. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.